Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good afternoon, everybody. This is Less is More Coaching Podcast and Videocast. Thank you so much, all of you, for being here today, and welcome. I am so excited. Yesterday was just so much fun to share about the famous little red book that makes your dreams come true. And this little book, and some amazing angel sent it to me. It was so funny. I was thinking about where I got this little book yesterday after the show, and I was like, oh, I can't remember. And then I remembered I got it in an envelope, a package, and there was no name attached to it. So for literally a month, I was trying to figure out who it was, and I finally remembered. It was a lady on Clubhouse, actually, named Pamela Dubois, who sent it to me. And she said, I can't believe you didn't have one. And I was like, well, I have a lot of books in my library, but yep, I sometimes don't have all of the, every single book, and I'm constantly growing my library and enjoying growing my library. And so today, we're going to share about the remainder of the book, because we read through the first I would guess we read through the first 14, 16 pages. And I wanted to read through the remainder of the pages and have us discuss the remainder of the pages with the people that are up on stage on Clubhouse. And for those of you that are on social media, other social media platforms, feel free to send me a question inside of the comments, and I will go ahead and answer those as well. We're here for the next 30 to 40 minutes. I'm a little bit flexible with the time at the end, because I don't like to end in the middle of a conversation. I like to give people the opportunity to answer a question and not suddenly go, hey, by the way, we're closing, bye, boom, and be done. So thank you, and welcome to the stage, Paddlin. Welcome to the stage, Ginger. Welcome to the stage, Mark, known as Squirrel. Welcome, George. Oh, George is gone, but that's okay. It's all good. Chinmay, I'm going to invite you up on stage if you want to join us. And we're going to get started here. And I will share, I'll pick up where we left off yesterday. And I'm actually going to go back a couple pages to the plan. And this was based on writing down and getting out a piece of paper. And I'm going to cover this again because I think it'll make a big difference. I know the people that are here probably already did this, that are up on stage. But for those of you listening to a replay, for those of you just joining right now, Lennart Soderlund, thank you so much for joining. He's a family friend from across the pond, as we love to refer to it. So here we are once again. This is the original edition of If You Know What You Want, You Can Have It. It Works by RHJ, the famous little red book that makes your dreams come true. A concise, definite, resultful plan with rules, explanations, and suggestions for bettering your condition in life. If you know what you want, you can have it. The plan. Write down on paper, in order of their importance, the things and conditions you really want. Do not be afraid of wanting too much. Go the limit in writing down your wants. Change the list daily, adding to or taking from it until you have it about right. Do not be discouraged on account of changes, as this is natural. There will always be changes and additions with accomplishments and increasing desires. The 3 positive rules of accomplishment. Number 1, read the list of what you want 3 times each day, morning, noon, and night. Number 2, think of what you want as often as possible. Number 3, do not talk to anyone about your plan except to the great power within you, which will unfold to your objective mind the method of accomplishment. And we had this discussion yesterday, and I just want to plop this in for those of you of faith. As I'm a Christian, for me, sharing with the great power within me, that's praying to God, praying to Jesus Christ, the Holy Spirit, the Trinity. And it's obvious that you cannot acquire faith at the start. And for some of you, this may be the first time you've really taken on praying and asking God for what you want. Remember, in the Bible, there's, my apologies or regrets at this point, I don't have the Bible verse memorized, but there's a Bible verse that says and speaks to pray as though you already have what it is that you're praying for. Pray thanks for the receipt of it. And what I've learned in my life about that is being so sure that you are on God's path for you, that when you pray for that acceptance, you are praying knowing that God has that path for you and that you're aligned with that path. Some of your desires, from all practical reasoning, may seem positively unattainable, but nevertheless, write them down on your list in their proper place of importance to you. There is no need to analyze how this power within you is going to accomplish your desires. Such a procedure is as unnecessary as trying to figure out why a grain of corn placed in fertile soil shoots up a green stalk, blossoms, and produces an ear of corn containing hundreds of grains, each capable of doing what the one grain did. If you will follow this definite plan and carry out the 3 simple rules, the method of accomplishment will unfold quite as mysteriously as the ear of corn appears on the stalk, and in most cases, much sooner than you expect. When new desires deserving position at or about the top of your list come to you, then you may rest assured you are progressing correctly. Removing from your list items which at first you thought you wanted is another sure indication of progress. It is natural to be skeptical and have doubts, distrust, and questionings. But when these thoughts arise, get out your list, read it over, or if you have it memorized, talk to your inner self about your desires until the doubts that interfere with your progress are gone. Remember, nothing can prevent your having that which you earnestly desire. Others have these things. Why not you? Oh, and a good friend of mine, check this out. A good friend of mine just put down the verse for me in in YouTube. Whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have received it and it will be yours. Mark 11:24. Karen, thank you so much. I appreciate, love, and adore you. Karen is my health coach, Karen Masolia. So if you're looking at on YouTube and you go and review this on YouTube, you can find Karen Masolia. I invite you to follow her. She's an amazing health coach, has coached over 3,000 people to be successful in their journey to health and just what I call wealth of the body. She is amazing. So thank you so much, Karen. And Ginger, I don't know if you heard that, but it's the verse in the Bible is Mark 11:24. Whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have received it and it will be yours. So go ahead, Ginger.
Oh, absolutely. 100%. I was looking for that as well. It's like, so that's one of those that I know and I live by for sure. So much so that I went ahead and put on my bio, because it really made me think yesterday. I'm writing my book. I'm not just writing my book. It's a New York Times best-selling book. So I put that on my bio, but I also put future because it's happening. It's going to happen. That's how I see it. I see the cover of my book. I see everything. Yesterday, it's like the veil just lifted.
Oh, that's beautiful. Congratulations. It's a, for me, you know, and this is for, you know, for all people of all different faiths. The omnipotent power within us does not enter into any controversial argument. It is waiting and willing to serve when you are ready. But your objective mind is so susceptible to suggestion that it is almost impossible to make any satisfactory progress when surrounded by skeptics. Therefore, choose your friends carefully and associate with people who now have some of the things you really want, but do not discuss your method of accomplishment with them. Put down on your list of wants such material things as money, home, automobile, or whatever it may be, but do not stop there. Be more definite. If you want an automobile, decide what kind, what style, what price, what color, and all the other details, including when you want it. If you want a home, plan the structure, grounds, and the furnishings. Decide on location and cost. If you want money, write down the amount. If you want to break a record in your business, put it down. It may be a sales record. If so, write out the total, the date required, then the number of items you must sell to make it. Also, list your prospects and put after each name the sum expected. This may seem very foolish at first, but you can never realize your desires if you do not know positively and in detail what you want and when you want it. If you cannot decide this, you are not in earnest. You must be definite. And when you are, results will be surprising and almost unbelievable. A natural and ancient enemy will no doubt appear when you get your first taste of accomplishment. This enemy is discredit in form of such thoughts as, it can't be possible, it just happened to be. What a remarkable coincidence. When such thoughts occur, give thanks and assert credit to your omnipotent power for the accomplishment. By doing this, you gain assurance and more accomplishment, and in time, prove to yourself that there is a law which actually works at all times when you are in tune with it. Sincere and earnest thanks cannot be given without gratitude, and it is impossible to be thankful and grateful without being happy. Therefore, when you are thanking your greatest and best friend, your omnipotent power, for the gifts received, do so with all your soul and let it be reflected in your face. The power and what it does is beyond understanding. Do not try to understand it, but accept the accomplishment with thankfulness, happiness, and strengthened faith. A note of caution. It is possible to want and obtain that which will make you miserable, that which will wreck the happiness of others, that which will cause sickness and death, that which will rob you of eternal life. You can have what you want, but you must take all that goes with it. So, in planning your wants, Plan that which you are sure will give to you and your fellow man the greatest good here on earth, thus paving the way to that future hope beyond the pale of human understanding. This method of securing what you want applies to everything you are capable of desiring, and the scope being so great, it is suggested that your first list consist of only those things with which you are quite familiar, such as an amount of money or accomplishment or the possession of material things. Such desires as these are more easily and quickly obtained than the discontinuance of fixed habits, the welfare of others, and the healing of mental or bodily ills. Accomplish the lesser things first, then take the next step. And when that is accomplished, you will seek the higher and really more higher and really important objectives in life. But long before you reach this stage of your progress, many worthwhile desires will find their place on your list. One will be to help others as you have been helped. Great is the reward to those who help and give without thought of self, as it is impossible to be unselfish without gain. In conclusion, a short while ago, Dr. Emile Coué came to this country and showed thousands of people how to help themselves. Thousands of others spoofed at the idea, refused his assistance, and are today where they were before his visit. So with the statements and plan presented to you now, you can reject or accept. You can remain as you are or have anything you want. The choice is yours. But God grant that you may find in this short volume once again, the choice is yours, but God grant that you may find in this short volume the inspiration to choose aright, follow the plan, and thereby obtain, as so many others have, all things, whatever they may be, that you desire. Read this entire little book over again and again, and then again. Memorize the 3 simple rules on pages 13 and 14. First one, read the list of what you want 3 times each day, morning, noon, and night. 2, think of what you want as often as possible. And number 3, do not talk to anyone about your plan except to the great power within you, which will unfold to your objective mind the method of accomplishment. Test them now on what you want most this minute. This book could have extended easily over 350 pages. But it has been deliberately shortened to make it as easy as possible for you to read, understand, and use. Will you try it? Thousands of bettered lives will testify to the fact that it works. All right. So I'm going to now go to a couple people on stage here. and then we'll hear from them, and then I will share a couple testimonials that are in the back of the book, and also a letter to us from the author. So with that, Ginger, I hand you the mic.
Yay. So I really enjoyed that. Thank you. I think the thing that really stood out to me was the cautionary advice to be careful and make sure that we are choosing the right things for sure. And I know there's a verse somewhere in there, something about like nothing's really a secret and it shall be made manifest, like nothing's hidden, but it will become known to us. So I would always want to do God's will. What does God want for me? Because I know the things that I want, but like you said, they aren't always good for me. So before I just make those petitions to God and say, you know what, it's your will, what you want, please reveal to me what you want me to have, where you want me to be, and what you want me to do. And then it'll come into light. I mean, he always appears in those moments. And, you know, there's just always that promise of advance and just being humble and, you know, doing that first for sure. That's how that spoke to me.
Well, I really appreciate that, Ginger. And I'm so happy, as I said yesterday, when I started this journey of doing things and sharing some of the things that I've discovered in my files after 30 plus years of being in sales, and then to discover this little book to start with. I'm super excited, and I thank you for being one of the first people to be here to enjoy and share with us. So thank you. And Mark Squirrel, I hand the mic over to you.
Hey, Coach. Hey, Ginger. Coach, there is just so much that, you know, with speaking and believing and allowing things to manifest creates abundance in your life. And it can come in many different ways, shapes, and forms. It can come any way. Trust in God. Trust in the process. Believe in Him. Hold your faith strong despite what everything is showing you. You know that you're doing everything the way that He's asking you to do it. And I came across that today, Coach. I did. I had something beautiful happen to me today. And now I have work in abundance. And I will have money is coming in abundance. And every part of my life is starting to elevate, even though everything else is perceived that is falling apart. When you believe and you trust and you have faith in Him, you cannot lose. You cannot be afraid to put in the work. You have to still put in the work and do it and get it done. Receive it. Speak against the negative things that come across you, and everything that comes against you shall not prosper. So thank you, Coach.
You are very welcome. Thank you. Appreciate it. And I'm just going to share, as we come to wrapping up here, I just want to share a couple of the testimonials and then a letter to the author. First of all, the first one, of course, was a good one. Please send another 200 copies of It Works in answer to your query. Yes, we are obviously using it, and yes, we think it's simply great. The second one, that was from Caroline Atkinson from Tri-State Marketing Research in Kansas City. It Works has been a proven training adjunct at Shawmut Bridges Equities for almost a decade in Boston, Massachusetts, from Kevin. We now require use of It Works in the first month of all OAS and OAS services training from Lieutenant Colonel Clark North in Reston, Virginia. Since using It Works in our agent training program, we have noticed a dramatic increase in motivation and performance, a steady surge in sales that bucks all the downtrends. Please keep it in print. Stacy York, Vice President, Pan Desert Realtors Association in Palm Springs, California. I was given It Works in training 14 years ago, and I now require it for training in all Broadmart centers. Terrific. Thanks. We've used it for years, and it really does work. Harley Tillman from First Capital Stock and Equity, Silver Springs, Maryland. And now a letter to you from the author. As a final way to share today. Dear reader, the great possessions of life are all gifts, mysteriously bestowed, sight, hearing, aspiration, love, or life itself. The same is true of ideas. The richest of them are given to us, as for instance, the powerful idea which this book has given you. What are you going to do with it? Are you surprised when I tell you the most profitable thing you can do is to give it away? You can do this in an easy and practical way by having this book sent to those who know who need it. In this way, you can help in the distribution of this worthwhile effort to make the lives of others better and happier. You know people who are standing still or who are worried and discouraged. This is your chance to help them help themselves. If you withhold this book from them, you will lose the conscious satisfaction that comes from doing good. If you see that they get this book, then you put yourself in line with the law of life, which says you get by giving, and you may rightly expect prosperity and achievement. At the very least, you will have the inner sense of having done a good deed with no hope of being openly thanked, and your reward will come secretly in added power and larger life. Super thankful for that. And I just want to do a quick shout out to John W. Worley. Hi there. How are you, sir? I'm from LinkedIn. Appreciate you stopping by to take a look and hear It Works, the famous little red book. And I'm super excited to say that next week we will be diving in to the next treasure from the files, my 30-year files from sales. And I'm super excited to be back here at 3:30 Central Standard Time next week on Monday. And I'm just going to take a final closing comment from the two people up on stage that joined me right away. And I'm super excited and thankful for them. Ginger, what would you like to say?
I'm so glad you brought this book to light. I had never heard of it, and I've been in sales for many, many years. And wow, if I'd had that back in the day, who knows what could have been. But I don't live in the past. I look forward. I'm always learning. So now I see why that company makes this part of their training program. I think that's amazing. I'm going to go out and get it. And I'm going to give it to my children, 24 and 25, who are just embarking on this big world. So absolutely. Thank you for sharing all this.
Oh, you're welcome. And next week, I think I've got another oldie but goodie that I can see sitting off on my desk here. and the greatest salesman in the world. And I think I'm going to do a little intro to that next week. And so thank you for being here, Ginger. I hope you can make it next Monday. And Mark, Mr. Squirrel, final comments.
Thank you for showing up, Coach. Thank you for your selflessness and your willingness to teach and help others.
Oh, you're very welcome, Squirrel. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it. And Candida, did you want to share anything as we're wrapping up? Go ahead.
Oh, hi, Coach. I came in, but I think I came in at the end, so I really didn't get to hear too much. But thank you for inviting me up. Hi, Gender. Hi, Squirrel. Yeah, Coach, I missed out.
Well, we'll be back here, and you can listen to the replay, and we'll be back here next week on Monday at 3:30, and we're gonna go to the greatest salesman in the world and share a little bit about him and the impact that he's had in the world. So I'm super excited to drop that little nugget, and we'll see. I'm sure I'll see some of you around the hallways on Clubhouse, and thank you all for being here. And also, for those of you that are interested, I do a podcast Wednesday and Thursday at 4 p.m. Central Standard with Sujata Tiwari from Singapore, originally from India. And we do a podcast about Against All Odds. So I will invite you to take a quick peek about that. I will be, I'll drop that in the up in the pin link. I'll drop tomorrow's room, and so for those of you that want to come and join us, and with that, I'm going to close this down today with a little bit of a shout out. My newest little outro that a friend of mine made, David Douglas. Here we go.
Coaching with Les has doubled my practice.
We've increased our sales by about 33%, of blowing all of our goals out of the water.
In my first 6 months, I actually grew my business with his help over 500%. Literally 500%.
Les Hill is the type of person that invests back in you and back into your company. So if you're looking for a business coach with integrity, choose Les Hill.
Awesome. And with that, just for those of you that are watching this on YouTube,